Good afternoon. My name is Brad Lincoln, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the history of Santa Clara, New York. Santa Clara was erected in 1888 and was formed from a portion of the town of Brandon, New York. The town rests in the northern portion of the Adirondack State Park and is within the Franklin County limits. Santa Clara is the second largest town in the county at approximately 192 square miles in size, 9% of which is water. Santa Clara's beginning can be traced back to a few people, but the most important is often considered to be John Hurd. John Hurd was a businessman with interests throughout the country. In 1881 or 1882, Mr. Hurd partnered with a couple different people and purchased a large tract of land in Franklin County, New York for lumbering purposes. Mr. Hurd eventually bought out his partners and had a lot of visions that ended up being a little too optimistic in the end. Nonetheless, Mr. Hurd commenced building a railroad from Myra, New York to St. Regis Falls, New York, and then on to Santa Clara, New York. Mr. Hurd intended for the railroad's ending destination being Tupper Lake, New York. For years, Mr. Hurd worked towards his dream of owning a monopoly of the logging and railroad industry in the region. The railroad station in Santa Clara opened in 1886. It consisted of 2 turntables, a roundabout, a car, coal, and oil shop. The Tupper Lake portion of the track was completed in 1889, and on July 1st of 1890, a train ran the full route of Mr. Hurd's creation for the first time. Years of debt and high interest rates, however, coupled with a few bad decisions, left him bankrupt, and his dream fell into other hands. Mr. Hurd's work, however, left logging mills in St. Regis Falls, Santa Clara, and Tupper Lake, and all of the associated infrastructure, which laid the foundation for a booming industry in the area. Multitudes of railroad spurs were created along with other stagecoach routes, one of the most famous being one from Spring Cove Station to Lake Azonia. The railroad continued to run for decades, and ownership was transferred multiple times. The logging industry in the area changed dramatically with the introduction of trucks and more efficient equipment. With the success, however, the need for a railroad eventually came to an end with overlogging, disastrous fires, and easier access to the area. Historic photos exist of the area that show miles and miles of cleared forest with barren mountains and hills. In 1937, the vast majority of stations were closed along the line, along with the track itself. Today, Santa Clara is an outdoor paradise, and the forests have returned. The human population has dwindled to a mere 345 inhabitants, leaving miles upon miles of unspoiled canoeing, hiking, fishing, hunting, and more, all open to the public. The old railroad line now serves as an access to backwoods camps, which are largely privately owned. There is a growing population of moose in the region, and loons litter the banks of the headwaters of the St. Regis River and other bodies of water. The logging industry is still alive and well in Santa Clara, but much more environmentally friendly. Selective cut practices are in place now. This method has proven to be sustainable over the years and also helps wildlife populations, as fully matured forests actually limit wildlife numbers due to lack of vegetation for food. So in a nutshell, that's the town of Santa Clara, a place that I consider my home away from home.